All right, we are back out here at the test flight facility nearest our workshop. We have a Develop Air in front of us. We have a LED drone show mod kit is what we call it. So if you want to do your own drone shows with Develop Air, we're working on making that as easy as humanly possible, as intuitive as humanly possible, not just from a hardware perspective, but from a software perspective as well. We're actually running World's iVue and the iVue RoboControl app again on the Legion here. I just have some notes pulled up from Mohit, our lead developer, just to reference what updates we'll be reviewing in the iVue RC app as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the LED drone show mod kit demo out of the way. It's not as ideal as I would like it to be. I already have it pre-installed using the payload mount quick release rail system that we have. I may not be able to pull it all the way off with the wiring. Yeah, let's see. Need to unplug the connection there in the rear via the side plate. And so typically we would run the wires underneath. We have a couple of pass-through holes that are covered up via the landing gear and payload bracket, but using a little bit of ingenuity is what I would like to call it, and a little bit of patience, using some tweezers, I went ahead and disconnected the 3 wires that control all the data from the Arduino for the drone show LED mod kit and ran those through the rear side plate as well. But of course I couldn't do that with the connector actually connected already, which it's just a JST GH connector, the same that you would use for a telemetry radio inside of a Pixhawk, and that's plugged into the telemetry 2 port, as we'll see in the iVue RC app. But again, I just used those tweezers to remove that connector to then run the wires through and then reattach the wires through the to the connector. So if you have more CAD-ability or someone readily available with CAD-ability, you could of course just have a side plate with a female version of one of those JST GH connectors and use it as like a pass-through in the same way that we use these 3-pin DuPont, oftentimes called JST connectors as well, but those are just for more like PWM driven devices like retractable landing gear, or we have a spotlight mod kit, dispenser mod kit, a deployment mod kit, and a few others that use these sort of 3-port connections. Let me just struggle a little bit here to put on the top cover. Not the best wiring management on this Develop Air. All right, there we go. Let's get the LED drone show mod kit back on. As you can tell, there's no hard mounting spot for the Arduino, so can get a little bit tangled. And not that this is like a product ready design either. This is still very much a rudimentary prototype. Just got a flying visitor of some sort buzzed by me. I'm struggling to get this rail lined up without nicking any of the wires. There we are. Should have just left it on and showed it off afterwards. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. There we go. I did it, Mom. Aren't you so proud? The restraint to avoid making my famous sound effect that some viewers have pointed out. Brian, our camera operator, big fan of. Gerardo, our lead electrical engineer, said probably should cut it out, and look at that, I can listen, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that was possible? There's no way Jacob is coachable. He's too much of a renegade. All right. And we are using, again, a new version of World's iVue, and therefore a new version of the iVue RC app, updated on January 21st, so a couple days ago at 8:14 p.m., version 1.5.4. Wow, that's new. So it's opening up the app in a new tab versus just opening it back up in the same window or same tab. And then it looks like this trackpad on the Legion Go is not responding, so that's great. Well, in any case, let's go back. And I think I actually will need this trackpad to work, at least for the LED drone show mod kit. Let me see if I can disconnect it and reconnect it. Okay, so it wasn't properly seated maybe? Yep, and there we go. I can do it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Trying to not stop this recording while closing out these extra tabs that opened up. All right, and I think one more. Let's see if I hit back to app now. Okay, yeah, it's still opening in a new tab. We'll just use the new tab. We'll go full screen for the best experience, the greatest experience. All right, look at that. And it looks like the orientation of Develop Air has since been fixed. It looks like it's now facing the proper direction. So that's one of the updates. It still may be a couple of degrees off. According to Mohit, our lead developer, him and another developer on our team are looking into that. And then we should now be able to pull a mission already uploaded to the drone. So let me show you where that is, even though there's not a mission already uploaded to this Develop Air, or at least I don't think there is, but we'll verify that. So we go to the mission tab, and then we select add a mission. If we go down to the options menu, there's now a new option called pull mission from drone. So that means if you're at your office, workshop, home, school, classroom, wherever, you create a mission ahead of time and you upload it to Develop Air. It's already saved on there, but you've reloaded the iVue RC app when you get out to the field, and so it's no longer loaded on the iVue RC app. Now you can select pull mission from drone. So I guess let's go ahead and verify that. I think the best way to do so is disconnecting here via the iVue RC app, and we'll actually create a mission via QGroundControl, and that will also very clearly show you that these missions are interchangeable between ground control software programs. Again, not that you would ever want to use another program outside of the iVue RC app, but you have to, at least for basic configuration, setup, compass calibration, which we're working on, but
stabilize flight mode.
Time and money, people, time and money. And not that it's all a money problem by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, you know, we do a lot with a great part-time R&D team, and it'd be nice to have, you know, a full-time R&D and production team and allow me to do more of this marketing content, if you will, that I clearly do so great at. No. All right, we don't need anything in the vehicle configuration. It looks like there is already a mission saved on board this Develop Air, so maybe the iVue RC app update needs a little bit more work. So plan flight, file. Yeah, so here if I clear the vehicle, now we can see there's no mission on Develop Air. Let me go ahead and create a new one though. So I'll set the takeoff point right where Develop Air is at. All right, and then I'll just set another basic waypoint, 25 feet, that's fine. 25 feet, that's fine. And let's go ahead and upload All right, so now the mission is uploaded via QGroundControl. And if we were to exit plan, we could see that it is now ready to fly that mission. But let's verify that it is also appearing in the iVue RC app. So missions, go over. And yeah, so there is no actual ability to pull the mission that's already saved on board, at least if it's created in QGroundControl, which, as I just mentioned, should be interoperable, these missions. So you create one in iVue RC, you should be able to fly it in QGroundControl and vice versa. Let me go ahead and see if I download mission. Okay. I don't know exactly what mission that was, but let's see, use save mission, and if we select open, okay, it doesn't look like there's actually any mission that was part of that save file. So if we create a new mission through the iVue RC app, just by selecting waypoints on the map, very similar to how it works in QGroundControl. I'm selecting with a trackpad, clearly not working all that well. I need to assign a drone first. Nope. Click on the map to start adding waypoints. It looks like this update of the iVue RC app is maybe a little bit more buggy than it should be. Which there should never be any bugs. We squash all of those filthy ants. No other types of bugs, you know, come to mind. All right, well, I am not having any success in setting a waypoint. Again, I would like to think that's maybe due to the trackpad. Let me just try it here. You're not gonna be able to see here on the MacBook I'm now using, but let me make sure I use the same version, back to app. And if I have a problem dropping waypoints in this version, then we know it's a touchscreen problem. Or we know it's not a touchscreen problem, I should say. Okay, so it looks to be a touchscreen problem because I am able to set waypoints. Let me try again. And this is where I guess the Legion Go is not such a great ground control device after all, right? Because yeah, now we're rotating the map screen and I don't want to do that. A little annoying to say the least. All right, so we'll come back to this, and for the meantime, we will just do the flight with the Drone Show LED mod kit. So let me go ahead and make sure we're in loiter flight mode. And you know what, I'm actually gonna go ahead and reload the app. All right. We're in loiter flight mode. I have the controller activated, verifying that via the gamepad screen. And now I should just be able to arm and left stick. All right. And now I'm going to the mod kit screen, going to the light show mod kit. And as you can tell, we don't really even have a rendered image to show this mod kit, but we're using drone 1. We turn it on and now you should be able to see it. Again, it is light outside, so it may not be the most visible, but now we also have the ability to change the color. So maybe if I change it to like an orangish red, it might be a little bit more visible. Yeah, I could definitely see that better from here. And now if I want to change it, let's say to like pink, sure. Yep, now it's pink. So very intuitive. We are working on a way that you could actually have it flash in between two colors. I don't think that's actually working in the current state, but let me go ahead and try just to show you. All right, so the second color would be green, and now it should alternate between the pink and green color, but again, I don't think that is working currently. All right, but that does go to show that you can actually create your own drone shows using Develop Air as the base platform. Of course, you'll probably want an RTK GPS like we're using on this base model of Develop Air, but theoretically you'd be able to do the same with a Develop Air Mini just as well. All right, let's go ahead and turn off the light, and then we'll go ahead and land the Develop Air. All right, and it has disarmed itself, although I'm going to select disarm on the screen. Mohit, that's one change we'll want to make. It looks like even if Develop Air disarms itself, the UI doesn't update. So we'll want to have the UI update to match the actual state of Develop Air. Nonetheless, let's go down through the list and see if there's any other features we can try out on the Legion Go without the touchscreen getting in the way. As you could might be able to tell here, especially if you've watched our recent videos, we have a new button that's available down at the bottom of the drone screen called Follow Locator Tool. Let me zoom in here. We're not actually going to test this out here. This is not the most ideal test environment to test a new feature, and based off of this message, we're closer to resolving this issue where you'll basically actually be able to set a point on the map and have Develop Air fly to it. So instead of actually having a waypoint mission that's created and uploaded ahead of time, you'll actually just be able to have like a point on the screen and then have Develop Air fly to it like real time. And I think right now there's like an offset, so it's not like flying directly to the point. It's like flying maybe 10 feet behind the point with a, you know, if you're looking north, 100 and 60-degree offset. So it's not like directly at the point. It's 10 feet behind, and then maybe 5 feet to the right. Or you'll see when we actually test it if that explanation doesn't make sense. But I don't think, that's ready just yet. At the very least, it should be slightly easier to activate and deactivate the follow mode. So yeah, we'll test that out at the drone park next time we're out there and not out at our test flight facility. That's, again, definitely not private property. As a small extra, the start waypoint mission button will auto-arm the drone if the drone is not armed before carrying the mission out. So some of you may not be familiar with the concept of arming the drone, which I've mentioned now even in this video, but before I could just throttle up using this left thumbstick, which I'm doing right now, you can see Develop Air is not taking off. I actually have to hit arm for the motors to basically be in an on or armed state to be able to spin them up. But now you don't have to select arm drone and then start waypoint mission. If you just want to start an automated waypoint mission, you can just start the waypoint mission without having to select the arm button. So just makes it a little bit more intuitive to get your drone off the ground, get your Develop Air off the ground, and get it flying the mission you want it to fly. Let's try one more time to create a mission here using the touchscreen. Nope, it's not cooperating. All right, so we're going to disconnect from the iVue RC app here. I'm going to clap to sync the audio recording, although I should probably do it here as well. All right. Let me make sure I have the microphone turned on. Yep. All right, and we're recording there, recording in both places. Just another sync. Stopping the recording here on the Legion and just taking the radio, plugging it into the MacBook, selecting connect drone, connect, And we're picking up right where we left off. Now going back to the mission screen, add a mission. We're going to zoom into the Develop Air's position on the map. And now we're just going to add waypoints as we should have been able to on the Legion. Just again, the touchscreen giving us more problems than what it has really any time previously, more than any time previously. So we'll have Develop Air basically turn away from us and take off to an altitude of 15 feet. And same thing with waypoint 2, we'll just keep it at 15 feet. And we will have it return to the takeoff and land drone at the end. I don't think we actually need to have land drone at the end. That's just if you want to land in a separate position. So I'm actually going to take that off and we'll verify if I'm right or not. So let's upload. And now we don't even have to use the terminal mission. So you can see we can pull the mission from the drone now. So Mohit, again, that's really an update that needs to be made, that the mission should have been able to get pulled even if it was created in QGroundControl or Mission Planner or even through some other program, as long as it's in a supported KML or format and maybe .plan. I think there's another waypoint format type, but in any case, we have the mission uploaded. And now we should just be able to go back to the drone screen and, like I mentioned, start waypoint mission without having to select ARM. It should automatically change the flight mode as well, so let's check this out. Yep. All right, look at that. Great work, Mohit and team. All right, so now it should return. And so now it's climbing up to 150 feet, which is the default altitude that Develop Air is set to return to launch at. I've covered this in another video, but if you didn't want it to climb up that high, you could use what's called Smart RTL mode, and that would follow, again, a breadcrumb sort of trail back to the home point. Where it knows there's going to be no obstacles in the way because that's the path it took to get to where it was originally before the Smart RTL was triggered. All right, so Develop Air has been acting exactly as it should. A little bit of a hiccup with the Legion Go, a little bit of a hiccup with the iVue RC app, but nothing that can't be sorted out. And so Develop Air just slowed down there. Once it gets to, I believe, 30 feet above the ground, it goes into a slower descent speed. And that's just a configuration that we've set. If we were still connected to the Legion Go, I'd just fly it back over to us, but all right, well, I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I guess one other comment, we have received quite a bit of inbound communication regarding if Develop Air is NDAA compliant. No, not in its current form factor. We do have it in the works along with some other updates as well that aren't really dependent on Develop Air being NDAA compliant or not, but seemingly there's quite a big demand for NDAA drone in a similar sort of form factor to our Develop Air model. So be on the lookout for those. And if nothing else, stay tuned and you'll catch me in our next video. Peace.